Welcome to the show. Some very unusual faces here on the Joshua Schmidt Yugioh channel. It's me, Sebastian Lemke, aka Lampy Yugioh, and there we have Leonard König as well with me. And we had some technical difficulties, and therefore we have that weird screen right now. But we have everything set up. The action for the Time Wizard 2010 tournament is already starting. We're already in round 1 and we have the GOAT himself. We have Joshua Schmidt in action and they're already underway playing game 1, and therefore I would say let's get over to the table and let's see what the action is all about today.
Fully agree.
Here they are. Here they are. Look at that, and as you can see, it is a pretty interesting deck choice from Joshua, who's sitting on the left there.
Yes, he is going for heroes, of course, opening the powerful Future Fusion, the Foolish Burial for 2 immediately.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I think he revealed the Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, the card that makes everything work in this deck, card that makes the deck possible.
Indeed it does. That's wild though. Like, out of all the decks, I would have never expected Joshua to bring heroes, to be honest. Because we saw him like play a lot of Vayu Turbo, like some Quickdraw and stuff, but I never really saw him play hero, to be honest.
I think he actually just broke the form because there is a Drill Warrior as well.
Ooh, it's a nice little hybrid deck then, maybe.
This is Quickdraw Hero, and apparently this format hasn't ended in 2010 because we are still seeing new inventions. Joshua really putting out for this stream today as well.
It's crazy. I mean, we had that discussion at YCSs before when we had Time Wizard content, that this format, or those Time Wizard formats that are so popular, are still developing and they're still going on and on and on. And still, they're not done with it. And look at that, that's Trapple on the flip summon of Gors. That is something pretty iconic and funny. And so
this
far,
is wild.
And there's Bottomless for the Kayas as well. But what deck is playing Trapple in that format?
I was going to say Trap Tricks, but then I realized that this is very likely not the case.
Probably not going to be Trap Tricks, no. Oh, but there's Pot of Avarice recycling all the resources. That's such a crazy card in that format back in the day. I remember when we both played that format at your place, and like every single time I kept on drawing like multiples of Pot of Avarice, but like at the right time. I would be able to resolve them every single time when I'm activating them, when I'm drawing them, and that is such a powerful card, just giving you more resources again. And look at that, he's going to activate Future Fusion again.
Yeah, I mean, Giant Trinade really just delayed the problem for 1 turn, right? Because you're getting the Fusion Summon on the standby phase later, but now you can send... Okay, Stratos and Snowman Eater is not the most powerful mill 2, gotta be honest there.
Not really,
but
no.
You're gonna get to your Absolute Zero eventually, and I'd rather go for that than later on in the game draw Stratos that doesn't have any targets anymore.
Yeah, to be honest, in like there's the Diva hero version of heroes, and whenever I saw that and when I tested it a little bit myself as well, I never really felt like the synergy between the two engines was super big. It was always kind of random when you were getting the combination of both engines. And with Future Fusion, you immediately make your Miracle Fusion live as well, so that's kind of nice. I like that.
Yeah, the only problem with Future Fusion is the best water target that you want to send to your graveyard in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! 2010 is Treeborn Frog.
Yeah.
And Treeborn Frog returns in every standby phase to the field if you don't have spell trap cards. I think that the bottom card in the graveyard actually is Treeborn Frog, and it has...
It
couldn't return so far. Or did it return after the Giant Trinade turn?
I think it never actually hit the field. I never saw it sit on the field.
I mean, the good thing about this format is that you have time. You have...
Yeah, we're in for some long-term Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, right? Yeah. We're still in game 1, and we are... I don't know, this could very well be turn number 8 of the duel. And there's the eel! What's going on here? What is Fabian bringing? Because I think now we have the name fixed, and... Please be nice to us, everyone in chat. I know Joshua has a beautiful community, and we're trying our best to get the overlay working. We had some technical difficulties at some times, that is the case, but at least we're live now. We're live with Time Wizard action. We are going to feature the whole event today, and we are also going to improve on the overlay. And as you can see, we're already doing that right now. The names are fixed now, the standings are fixed. Oh no, the standings not, but the current score in the game is fixed, and now we're also going towards the life points.
So, by the way, this eel, the Royal Swamp Eel, only has one print.
Only one print? What is it?
Card is from only Crimson Crisis. So I just assumed that Fabian is bringing not Rudnick, but Coelacanth OTK. A really popular strategy back in the day, one of the only real OTK strategies. And now we have Destiny Hero Plasma hitting the field. The absolute boss monster that I thought was only popular in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, even though it came out in like 2005 or something, or 7 or 6, something along the lines of that. But it apparently is also really playable in that format. And wow,
there is the out immediately, though. It's quite interesting, though. Like, this fish deck is somewhat of an OTK strategy, right? As far as I understand the deck. And so it's somewhat confusing to me how you combine that kind of an OTK strategy with all those traps, like Trap Hole, Bottomless Trap Hole, Dimensional Prison. Is it just the plan to stick around until you have your energy? Because those cards, that, for example, that he's activating right now, like a Prohibition, seem way more fitting for OTK strategies to me personally, because they actually allow you to go for OTKs, because they are helping you to get through boards.
Substitute, by the way, a beautiful card. I mean, if your opponent is playing a high-pressure deck, such as Heroes, because Miracle Fusions and, of course, the Future Fusion and the Beat Sticks like Stratus are going to deal a lot of damage to your life points, then you might as well play some trap cards. I mean, it is a rather slow format, and if you are getting overwhelmed, then I mean, you're gonna lose before you get to your OTK, because your deck also needs a lot of time. It's not like in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, where you most likely have the OTK in your hand when you're drawing your opening 5.
Yeah, that would be too easy, right?
You gotta fill the deck up with something, I guess.
Absolutely. So, back over to Yugioh Schmidt. And some people may be confused by what Future Fusion is doing there on the field, how, like, what is going on with that card. But back in the day, and of course we are playing with how the cards were back in 2010, Future Fusion actually was worded differently than it is today. So you actually are waiting for 2 turns. There's also Charge of the Light Brigade and Raikou in the deck of Yoshi. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're running a Pot of Avarice deck, so you're probably running multiple copies. So if you mill 1, it's not that bad. If you mill a monster, then you are very likely to get a draw 2 off soon. I'm just confused as to why we did not see the Elemental Hero Absolute Zero on the field right here. Oh, Prohibition probably, right?
True! He used Prohibition on Absolute Zero. That's nuts.
But can we draw about the hand of Joshua in game 1? Like Future Fusion plus Quickdraw plus Dandelion, that's like Exodia, basically. That's Edison Exodia.
Absolutely, it is. Also, quick interaction with chat. Chat, we see you. If you have any questions, if you have anything to add to the conversation, absolutely make sure to engage with us here in chat so we can have a nice little day of Yu-Gi-Oh action together forever. Only just today, though.
Exactly. But yeah, we can see the overlay. The records are not correct. In fact, I hope that we can fix that soon for your enjoyment, and to clarify that we haven't started the tournament at 2 a.m. Oh, Debris Dragon.
Leo is very loud. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. I can absolutely fix that. So let me have Leo a little bit less loud, and that should immediately be fixed. So
just tell me when I can start talking again.
Yeah. Just go ahead.
All right. Okay, so now we are in a really high pressure scenario. See, there is the at least second pot of Everest, Brain Control, Card Trooper, another card that mills cards. We have the Stardust Dragon, we have the Drill Warrior,
Oh,
and now
but
we are
that
wrapping up
is
the
the
Dracula.
game. That is the game. How do you feel when you're going to Karlsruhe? Let's just assume that Fabian also traveled to this event, and then you go to the Raid and Trade event together with Yugioh Schmidt, and then round one you get called over to the featured match table playing versus Yugioh Schmidt. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing because you're like, yeah, I'm probably not going to win game one or round one rather?
I cannot imagine that this is a good thing at all. I mean,
Probably. I would be,
it is.
I wouldn't be thrilled. That's true.
I mean, it's kind of fun because I always thrive when I play against the players with really big names. For some reason, I can focus better then.
Yeah.
I'm playing better than versus don't want to say a regular Joe, but against people I don't know, because then I get more nervous for some reason. Because of course, if you play versus people like Joshua Schmidt, you have nothing to lose. Nobody blames you for the round one loss then.
Of
So
course not. Of course not. No, no, no.
actually, I would like that. Have a super high stack tournament and just play every round against Joshua Schmidt or a Marcello.
Yeah, true.
That would work for me.
I mean, it probably makes you improve more, right? Because when you're always only playing versus people that are as good as you or maybe even a little bit worse than you're not going to get better because you have to face those better opponents to actually have something to learn from them. Like if you're playing versus Joshua Schmidt, be it current Yu-Gi-Oh, be it Time Wizard 2010, be it whatever format you're playing, be it Master Duel, whatsoever, you're probably going to learn something from him because he's doing a lot of stuff better than every other Yu-Gi-Oh player on the planet, basically, because he is one of the best players we have in the world right now. And therefore, it probably is. I would also see it as a positive to play versus Joshua.
Yeah, and we are not only saying this because we are on his channel right now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So, by the way, in chat was asked if we were playing with the old Time Wizard format time rules.
That is a very good question.
I think we should play with 3 turns after time is called, right? Or 0, 1, 2, 3. So basically,
that is a very good question to chat because chat, you are here and probably some of you have played in one of the Time Wizard 2010 format tournaments at OYCS at those public events. And I know that we wanted to double check with the head judge of those public events at YCS London which time rules they applied. So which time rules did they play for those events in London? Because that will be the answer for this event as well, because it is going to be the same. But I would also assume that it's going to be old time rules, actually. Oh, the YCS used current time rules, modern time rules. Okay, look. So that probably means we are going to play current time rules in this one as well, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also kind of fits the game because you don't have that many interactions in one turn.
Yep.
Fair enough. There is less, there is probably less problems when it comes to playing out a turn really close to time. And there is probably also no use in siding cards that increase your life points or decrease the opposing life points.
Yeah, true, fair enough. And of course, as Pogshops in chat mentions, current time rules with priority, because if you have never played this format yourself, something that is worth noting is that there is a thing called priority. And if you're just picking up the game recently, you don't know what that even means. You don't know what that all is about. But back in the day in Yu-Gi-Oh, we had that thing called priority. And that means whenever you are summoning a monster, and it has an effect that can be used once per turn, then you can use the priority to use it immediately. And in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, like for example, what if you summon Dark Armed Dragon, you will have to wait for your opponent to do something on the summon, like use Bottomless Trapple or something. But in Edison, you could immediately use the effect of Dark Armed Dragon, and your opponent could only chain the Bottomless Trapple.
That does not sometimes, I don't agree with this ruling, count for summoning of monsters, because my roommate in a tournament of the 2005 Time Wizard encountered that after Pot of Greed, on resolve, you could activate priority Thunder Dragon from your hand, so your opponent cannot cannot trip dust shot you.
That's wild.
Even if you have no targets in the deck. So you can just activate the Thunder Dragon, basically whiff it, and then have 3 cards in your hand.
That is actually crazy, let's be honest.
Yeah, I really don't like it. I don't like anything about this, but apparently that is how it's done. So we are seeing the Stratos beating over the Swap Frog.
It does indeed.
Oh, no,
So
Swap Frog was in hand, and now I was too much in my ruling here. We searched for the Alias, one of my favorite hero monsters.
how many cards is that Yugioh is bringing? Did we have a deck limit back in the day in 2010 already, or is that just 100 cards Quickdraw hero? It feels like this is going to be 100 cards Quickdraw hero, like quite seriously.
That is one of my favorite stories of the 2 guys who just brought like a 1,000 card deck or something like that.
True, yeah. I think those were Germans even. Wasn't it even a German tournament? I think it might have been German nationals specifically.
Legendary.
Absolute legends of the game.
Else.
We have limit. Okay. It has already been fixed in 2002. That was pretty early. I did not realize it was that early. Gotta be honest with you.
It doesn't feel like that there were even like 1,000 cards in 2002.
Agreed. So, does it feel good though to use Dimensional Prison on Stratos? I think that feels pretty bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for only 1,800 life points, I guess. I mean, it's not running over any important monster. However, I think that Fabian wants to keep the pressure up because when you are also looking at the gods is of course really strong.
It's not the first time. He also resolved that in game 1. That's crazy.
Yugioh doesn't really have traps in his deck. Of course, how could he? Because he's running 1,000,000 cards. Already 1,000,000 monsters and spell cards. That is basically the only battle interaction that he has in his deck, I guess. So you want to get rid of the Stratos and you want to deal a lot of...
And the Book of Moon. Wow. Good old classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Just trading card for card. And I mean, he has to find a way now to trade with that Gorse that is now set on the field. And again, we see that there's Future Fusion in the hand of Yoshi. He keeps on drawing that card. Kind of nice.
He's also not activating it, which is interesting.
That is pretty interesting indeed. So there's Treeborn Frog coming back. There is 1-for-1. Okay, I feel like in a turn where we are activating 1-for-1 in that kind of an OTK deck, we are supposed to deal a lot of damage. I think that is the game plan. Because 1-for-1 for that format is such a high investment card. Look, there's Fishbog Archer hitting the field.
I think it's Blaster.
Oh yeah, true. It's Blaster, absolutely.
And this one could be Book of Moon. That would be really, really strong here for Yugioh. Maybe he just also waits for his opponent to try and pop off. I don't think we have Formula Synchron yet.
I think Formula Synchron came in 2011, right?
Yeah. I mean, that would be much stronger right here. I think we have a Goyo Guardian on the field right now, trying to take away the gods, which a Book of Moon would be really crucial on.
True, that's actually the case. And there is normal summon of Swap Frog now as well. It feels like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Already. 4 monsters on the side of Fabian. And Swap Frog going to dump another monster to the graveyard here. And it's going to be another Treeborn Frog right there.
And I have no idea what he does with all of those Frogos. Gotta be honest here.
I mean, he now has normal summoned. I would have assumed there's that... I think you go for a Coelicant, which special summons out... Yeah. From the deck, so you get more and more damage onto the field. But now that we have normal summons, is there double summon coming or something?
Double summon?
who knows? But there is Book of Moon on the only tuner on the field. That is really strong.
That was really well played, because he was keeping the Book of Moon to maybe stop like a Coelicant OTK. If he just used it on the Fishbog Blaster and a tribute summon would happen, then he would be like left without any answers to it. But now that he knows that Swap Frog was normal summoned, you can just safely book the Fishbog Blaster as Fabian committed into the synchro turn.
Absolutely. That is crazy. Also, Cold Madness, it's about 200 players we have for this event. Oh, but wait, I mean, Swap Frog has some interaction where it could give you an additional normal summon for a frog, but not for a Coelicanth, so that's not really the solution. And now we booked the Gorse, but we had the problem that we couldn't clear it off the field, and therefore I don't really know whether that Book of Moon is really so valuable all around. And there is the Future Fusion now from Yugioh. There must be a reason why he held that for so long, because I think he had it in his opening hand, but now it's coming, and of course, yeah, it's Gorse. Yeah, sorry, my friend. you saw it all the way, right? You saw it all the way.
I saw it after I saw the gods. I didn't know that before then. I was also a bit confused, but yeah, of course, there is a reason. Maybe he was scared of Prohibition again. Prohibition on Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. But I think that this could already be an OTK turn. I mean, there are 3 monsters on the field, so that is kind of unlikely. But there's also a Miracle Fusion in the hand of Joshua. Yeah, he can immediately go for that Snowman Eater and Plasma route.
That's so strong. And that Absolute Zero, like, he brought so many monsters to the field, and now there's Kaiko as well. And I'm pretty sure that Kaiko came in from the side deck here from Yugioh Schmidt, because that is just going to take care of the Treeborn Frogs, and it will hinder them from coming back, and that is so strong.
I love how Kaiko is actually one of the strongest side decking cards in the most popular Time Wizard formats in 2005 and 2010, because in 2005 you can stop your opponent from summoning all those powerful Chaos monsters, and here you can stop your opponent from activating Vayu, the Emblem of Honor, and of course banish 2 Treeborn Frogs.
But Chad, what do you think about the deck choice by Yugioh Schmidt? Are you surprised? Because we are certainly surprised by him playing what we call a Quickdraw hero now, apparently. And do you think it's a good choice? Do you think it's a good deck? Is that popular for that format? And is it just something that we haven't really realized? But there is the Concede. There is the Oyster Master in hand as well. Another trap hole. But it is going to be the smooth 2-0 start for Yugioh Schmidt, starting off the tournament with a victory.
Yeah, that was a really quick victory. 2 times Future Fusion is, of course, incredibly powerful. But I mean, this hero deck that he's running, it's looking really consistent here, gotta be honest.
I'm already in love with it. I'm calling it now. Yugioh Schmidt is winning it. I think we could actually stop the tournament. Because this is going to be the winning deck, no discussion to be had. But I mean, we talked about it off stream before we started the stream a little bit. Yugioh Schmidt is very much into that format, and he plays it very actively. So we would certainly be surprised if he has not come up with a good deck for that tournament. If he has not come up with a really powerful deck all around. Because, I mean, he does it in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Where he, like, just somehow shows up with a deck that is amazing for a tournament, like, innovating the format. And of course he can do it with a format that has already been solved 25 times. And we see it here today.
Also, I saw a trap card in his deck, and I think I know which one it was. He might play 1 or 2 Hero Blasts, which is, I think, Tactical Evolution. Honestly, one of the most powerful trap cards in the game from that time. You add back 1 vanilla hero monster from your graveyard, and then you choose a monster on the opposing side, which has equal attack or lower, and just destroy it. So this is just an immediate +1 that keeps your engine alive, keeps you healthy on monsters, gives you some follow-up. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was actually kind of not really being used before. But with all of those Miracle Fusion Absolute Zero plays that you have access to now, and Alias, of course, being a light monster, so you can also summon a Chaos Sorcerer later in the game.
Yeah.
It's just a really great card. I mean, if you're running a strategy without traps, you still want to include this one because it's just a +1 and it stops your opponent in their tracks. And it's chainable, of course, as well. If your opponent MSTs it or breakers it or Raiku's it, you can just chain it.
Yeah, and Chet also is quite sure that it was a treacherous trap hole. And I mean, when you're not playing many traps, that is just super good to play that trap that is only being usable when you have no other traps. Oh, you were talking about a different trap, huh? But Chet is pretty sure it was treacherous.
That came out in Crossroads of Chaos. I was super sure this was a modern card.
Yeah, it came out in Crossroads of Chaos for sure.
Because the
Absolutely.
first thing I saw was I also thought about treacherous trap hole, to be honest, but then
Of course, of course, of course, of
but
course.
then I thought, oh, this probably came out in. Okay, now I need a modern set. Breakers of Shadow.
It was not, but shall I tell you something? We are here on the Twitch channel of Yugioh Schmidt, and of course, you guys are waiting for your champion to be talking. So, we have an interview area set up in Karlsruhe, and we have Emre Kitzelatis interviewing our round 1 featured match winner, Yugioh Schmidt himself. So, let's get into the interview.
Yoshi. Live. Are we live? We're live. Okay. Oh god. All right, chat. Welcome to the event. I hope you can all hear me clear. I don't have chat right now with me, but it's been a little stressful. Sorry, we started a little bit late, but we're here with the Edison event finally. I just played round 1, as you saw on feature. I'm questioning the decision to help with the stream organization and play at the same time, but I just couldn't resist. You know, playing Edison is just so fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that first game, even though you didn't get to see all of it. And I'm here with Emre today, who is going to be, when I'm going to be busy, he's going to be your host.
Yeah.
So
I'm Emre, as Scott said. I'm making interviews after the matches, asking players about the game, and yeah.
and if you have, because we're doing this is my first time doing like a live event and everything, and I'm not familiar with all the setup. If there's any feedback, don't hesitate to let me know in Twitch chat or tag me on my Discord so I can see it, and we will we'll make sure to give you guys the best experience as possible. But for now, hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed the commentary by the beautiful Lampy and Leo, and huge shout outs to Smart God and Raiden Trade who helped organize the event. You know, I'm not organizing. I'm just like, I just promoted it, and I'm just like responsible for the stream. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and that's it for round 1, and we'll soon be back with round 2. Round 2 is about to start. We're already hitting timeout of round 1, so yeah, we'll be back any second, and I'll leave you to your casters.